I am Doomsvince, and this is day 77 of Spawn Year.
It's pretty lonely here in this graveyard. It only takes so long to read and review Spawn comics, and then it's just me, sitting here trying to find ways to occupy my time and retain my sanity. It might have seemed nice to get out and have a change of scenery last week if it weren't for all the sadistic mind games. Coming back here might be the most sadistic game of them all. The worst part is how often, even after everything he's done to me, I have to remind myself that Doomsvince is my enemy. I spend so much time alone that sometimes I catch myself looking forward to seeing Doomsvince's giant floating head just to have someone to talk to. I have to remind myself that I am alone in this place, what I wouldn't give for a real friend. I sometimes wish someone else would make Doomsvince angry enough or jealous enough he'd want vengeance on them too, but wouldn't have enough time or resources or creativity to make a custom hell for them, so he'd send them here with me. Human beings crave companionship. Even the homeless bums in Spawn's Rat City, while they all become homeless separately, find comfort in being there together. They have more than I do. I'd gladly trade all this Spawn stuff for not being alone. And so Spawn's hatred of Terry really perplexes me. In life, Al was a social family man who clearly made friends easily, and until his second trip to hell, his goal was to get that life back. It's hard to believe after all this time alone, there isn't a major part of him that wants his best friend back. And he's even tried to fill that void in the past by befriending the alley's residents. As I wrote before, I understood in a fit of rage why Spawn was so quick to blame Terry for conspiring with Wynn to kill him, and why he invented this whole other false branch of the conspiracy, where Terry was motivated to do that because he wanted Wanda. If there was even the slightest possibility of that soap opera scenario, Spawn had hope that he could be with Wanda again. But finally, mercifully, things have changed, and Spawn has inched forward in his maturity, deciding once and for all to stop pursuing Wanda and to move on. Or at least, that's what I thought was going on. Because in this issue, Terry comes looking for him in the alley, because of that dream that somehow told him Al was back. And just seeing Terry get Spawn so riled up, he's nearly ready to forget all about how he just went to hell to save Terry, all to spare Wanda the pain of losing her husband. He's stuck in a new, worse predicament than before, where there were no immediate consequences to defying hell. Avoid wasting energy. That's all he had to do. Now, he has to actively kill for Malbolgia, or Wanda will be harmed by hell. How is Al even thinking about killing Terry right now? All killing him would do is make Wanda depressed, and he'd still be working for Bulgy to keep her safe. Once again, he looks like he's growing up, and then McFarlane has him freak out and act really impulsively because big words and dialogue balloons with lots of exclamation points are dramatic and exciting. He chokes Terry and really seems ready to do him in, until Cogliostro steps in and reveals this is all Al's fault. Terry explains he's only working for Wynn to expose him, and Cog mentions that Terry was only on Wynn's radar because of all those guns Spawn stole, and Wynn needed someone to blame that on. Yep, we are still dealing with the fallout of that in issue 54. Spawn knew that Wynn and Twist were both after Terry, that Wynn framed Terry for murder, and that it was all because of events he set in motion. This isn't news. He has more reason to suspect Terry is playing Wynn than to suspect he's playing with Wynn. And even after curing his cancer and resolving to leave Wanda alone, he's still making himself believe Terry's a traitor until the end of the issue, when Terry shows Spawn all the dirt he's dug up on Wynn. Then, in an admittedly touching splash page, Al and Terry make up. Finally, another development that should have happened issues ago. And maybe Spawn is just staying really aggressive because his costume is feeding on all that evil. But then what's the point? Why play up these interpersonal conflicts if Al's never really in control? Also, there's a lot of narration about Spawn stacking up and hoarding dead, murdered bodies he finds, like he's building the most comprehensive collection of corpses in the world. Hate to disappoint Al, but I doubt if any network is going to greenlight a show called Corpse Hoarders. I don't really know why he's doing that. It's played up like it's part of his new deal with Bulgy, but it's ambiguous as to whether he did any of the killing himself. It rather seems more like bad mojo for the costume to feed on. So what exactly is stopping Letha from evolving into that crazy, hideous mass that nearly consumed Al and was the entire reason he started looking for inner peace in the first place? And what's with this panel where Terry's mouth is open but he's not saying anything? Looks like there's supposed to be a balloon there, especially because in the next scene, Spawn comes to Terry's office and that's an appointment we never saw set up. Oh well. I'm glad Spawn finally came around, even though he's made stupid again just to stretch the page count. And I want more Spawn hugs. I could use a Spawn hug myself right now. Signed, Captain Logan.